Be sure to tune in next week and watch me swing into my strangest trip ever in Revolt in the Fifth Dimension.
Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your agent of awesome action, and also the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today we are wrapping up Spider-Noir, and I just noticed it does have a hyphen between Spider and Noir, which doesn't really make any sense since they just call him the Spider. Once again, I think Richard Wentworth might have a problem with that, but it's really a great ending. I mean, and I'm kind of hoping that they're going to do another series. But before we get too much further into it, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this. I highly recommend it. Even with people that don't like Nick Cage have enjoyed it, from what I've seen. So, if you're ready, get your web spinners out. And now, on with the show. Previously on Spider-Noir, they give a brief recap. I didn't do too much, but it's about good old Silvermane talking about the mayor. Cat's drinking, playing the piano, and finds out he's burned the lab down, the doctor's lab, Faber's lab down. And it's the excitement and conflict that gives the whiskey its taste. And then we go into opening credits, so not too much. Alfred Mayor, and he's told his boys to go rampage and maraud. So they're just taking his money. I really like Alice here, which I think, once again, Flint has a heart. Good old Megawatt there does not, but you don't blame Alice. They steal all the mayor's money to bribe people with. So there's B. Riley, private investigator, right next to a furniture store, and cameras. They really nailed the look of early 19. Well, it's got to be after they talk about King Kong, so it's post 33, maybe. I mean, it might be 34, but even Son of Kong would have been out by then. So Kat goes to see Janet and tells him that Ben never showed, but doesn't tell her why. So, stop me when I'm getting warm. They have a chat, sort of. Kat commits the sin of omission by not telling Janet quite a few things. There's just a nice shot of the New York skyline. The mayor's annoyed at the chief. The chief says, "You're not going to be around long enough." I mean, they're both corrupt. And there's Eamon. And guess who's down there? And Ben, Peter. Ben is down there drinking. He goes on about that. And these guys kind of badmouth him. So he goes out, puts the mask on, comes back in, and does the drunken spider style. I really should have had the Wong Fei Hung theme going here, but I didn't think about it. So he kind of beats these guys up for a while, goes on. Robbie shows up, he knows what's going on. He doesn't want to be the spider, but he hasn't taken the antidote. He's like, "See, why did it make?" So they have a heart-to-heart. Good stuff here. And she already knew that he was the spider. I thought she knew already. I mean, obviously she knew, but just was playing dumb. So Ben's got a drinking problem. I mean, obviously I can understand why. I don't condone it, but I can understand it. And so they go about through 3 of these, which is really funny. And there's the antidote. And Flint has a talk with Kat. So, look at you helping people again because he doesn't want any power, no responsibility. So the Silvermane's gang is still at it. Lonnie and talks to Robbie. And Ben goes down there to give him to stick him with that. He breaks the first one on his rock hard skin. So they have a bit more of a fight. So there's more action in these final 2 episodes, which I appreciate. Spider action. Just let him be. But then Robbie runs up and stabs him in the eyeball. Man, that's painful to watch. The spider comes to, but he can't shoot his webs. Robbie comes to the rescue by stealing a police car and taking him out. And he's back to normal. Lonnie's cured. And he's like, you're like, Ben's all, are we still fighting? And he's like, he's just a guy. I almost killed him. So there, they find out. Two parties have now found out found the syringe. Morris down 12 points because they're bribing him. They're giving him money. Where's Lonnie gonna go? Uh-oh, I hope he's all right, because you know what happens when people say Niagara Falls.
All my life, it was in Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls! Slowly I turned, and step by step, inch by inch, I walked up to him and I smashed him. I hit him. I bumped him. I turned to pieces and I knocked him down. Oh! No, take it easy, buddy.
Best of luck to you and your mom there in that place, Lonnie. Robbie's got his job back at the Bugle, so they're making sure everything's good. My man. And then we have a montage here where the spider showed the mayor and Silvermane. It's really well done, too. There they are. And Layden is Megawatt's doing his nonsense acting. Obviously a failed actor. Apparently in the comic book, he is from Australia, Mike, and becomes a convict, and then an actor, then a supervillain, and then a super actor or something. I don't know. Give some of that stuff to the Spider. And that's where that ends. Get me Ben Reilly. And previously on Spider, we are starting this second episode, but since we're doing a flashback here, and there he is, they're out. Silvermane's waxing poetic with Kat. She calls somebody, says, come see me. And it's Janet, and she wallops her once for Ben, and then slaps her once for Ben and once for her. And it's just like, Ben is a good man. Kat's not a good person. She seems like it, and I understand what she's going through, which gives her dimension. But overall, she's just not a good person. This guy is just downright awful. And they say it's Janet. Oh, there's Janet. She's nice. Nice. The humor is just placed appropriately. Really well done. There's the kid, and she's trying to correct him in the middle of all this also. The kid's a good comedic touch. And then one of the police chiefs calls him up. Riley is in hot water. Rushed to meet someone. Patient's barely alive, and he looks yellow, apparently. She can inject Flint. It's not such a bad idea. But here they are. Met a few nights. Oh, Layden thinks he's seen Ben before. Dun, dun, dun. But now it's time for a brief intermission. You are watching Xenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters on KXNO, part of the Xenorama Broadcasting Network. We now return you to our regularly scheduled program. All right, episode 8. Oh, I didn't even put the titles on here. The Man in the Mask. Episode 7 was Nobody's Hero. So episode 8 here, and they bring Ben to Silvermane, and call his Spider Fred. And I couldn't resist that one, so I'll give it a minute or a couple seconds there for you to read. He wants $5,000 so he can go to some island. He was thinking Santorini, and now he's going to go to somewhere in France. He is from France. But he gives him a call, and there's a comedic bit here where Robbie imitates Nick Cage's vocal inflections. He does a pretty good job of it. And so he's not getting his money. Spider tends. So they have this heart-to-heart here, where they kind of tell each other they both could blackmail each other. And he's telling these two not to make a move, but Megawatt's just sure he's seen Ben before. And now he tells him, yeah, you rescued us. So don't need any magic. And he threatens, so Silvermane ends up threatening Kat. That's his gun pointed right at her. And she's like, he's not the spider. He's upset at me because I broke his heart. Yep. So now all the cards are on the table, except for. And then the spider shows up. Well, we all know. So many plot lines. And says he didn't bring the stuff. but it's raw. And he says, Spider is no threat now. Megawatt's got the antidote. He's trying to say, we have this. We can, we don't need him anymore. But neither of them are the brains that Silvermane is. They find out it's Robbie. Janet shows up. Ben, behind you. So a fight breaks out. Robbie's been shocked, but he's all right. Ben dons the mask, and the spider is back. Cat goes after Silvermane. So out they are on the streets. Here we have, in typical Marvel fashion, which, this battle could have been a lot bigger and throwing everything around. It's, it's not. It's more human than that, which is good. Because, the spider is 5 years older now, and that's a running gag about that he can't keep up with himself. Zaps, he smacks the Sandman with 2 cars, which about does him in as well. Then we get a scene right out of Enter the Dragon with mirrors. I mean, it's a nice homage. I mean, and it pretty much ends the same way. Happy it's you. They're still fighting. I have regrets. This is a nice thing where the Sandman gets scooshed into sand and pulls himself back together. A sold out show. She threatens to shoot him because she shoots him. She kills Silvermane dead, which is something you can do in a series like this because you can't keep bringing villains back time after time after time after time. I mean, how many times was the Green Goblin killed or allegedly killed, or the Joker? How many times has he been dead? So that's one of the things I like about these sort of things. Megawatt versus the Sandman. And he crystallizes Flint's arm there. The spider chucks him into an ongoing train. Now we don't see a body. But, the more power he absorbs allegedly would kill him. But you just never know with people who have been mutated, right? He still has one left. He gives it to Cat to inject Flint. And everyone says, "You look great." Next we see Silvermane's funeral. Flint thanks Ben. And, they obviously know who each other are now. And then they want a word. She tells Ben to go to hell because she's like, "You're still trying to work me." So again, Kat is not a particularly good person. I hope she loves Flint. I hope they have a happily ever after because they're human now. They don't know if the mayor's a Republican or a Democrat, but he's going to get rid of prohibition, so he's good on my side. There's the kid. I'm assuming he's a junior partner now, and Janet is going to be a full partner. Harlem Herald, that's where Robbie's the new editor-in-chief. And I want a really good hot dog. 2 p.m. There it is, Riley and Ruiz. And I like the way that they gave her own flair for her name. Private investigators. And that's how it wraps up. So, yeah, they could do another one. I think as well as this has been received, if they could do another 8-episode story, it could be just as good. And hope I'd be able to review it, watch it for sure. I'd probably even buy this because I've got kind of a Spider-Man collection, But it is the end, as Gumby says, damn it.
I will destroy you. All of you. You kids will be my instrument.
Apes is more like it.
We've got to get out of here. I don't believe it! Yes, you can believe it.
And now on NBC's Saturday Night at the Movies, Kiss Meets the Phantom.
All right, my fellow agents. We are not going to be reviewing Kiss Meets the Phantom again, or Attack of the Phantoms, whatever you want to call it. We might revisit it sometime in the future, but tomorrow will be a live 7-song Friday. Not that I'm playing, but it'll be live performances, a traditional 7-song Friday, if you will. I've picked out 7 great performances. I think of a nice selection of bands, so I hope you enjoy it. But until that next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out. And remember, suspicion of tradition is so new wave. Be seeing you.
Hey, Cole.
Yeah, right.
Here's a little riddle for you.
All right.
What kind of bird always says the name of our next band?
Oh, I guess, tern? An Arctic tern?
And what sound does an Arctic tern make?
Backstreet Boys?